Edition of the King's Castle. I'm King James. I'll be your host for the next hour of wrestling news, entertainment news, and whatever else you want to know. And here to help me, as always, is my awesome, fun-loving, and reliable colleague, Mr. Blair Chopin. Blair, good evening.
Hello, America.
I'll tell you what, folks, we've got a lot to cover tonight, but we've got to start right at the top of the heat. Because, as you know, this past Sunday we saw SummerSlam only on the WWE Network. And before we get into many major detail about the matches, Blair, I understand you have something to say about the ending to the main event.
Yeah, not particularly the ending, but just like the status of things with Brock Lesnar.
Alright.
Okay, so setting the scene for you. This is the second pay-per-view, at least, that we've had Brock Lesnar end in a way that was unsatisfactory for fans.
What do you mean by that? Because I'm not sure what the first was.
Well, I mean, you had WrestleMania a couple years ago, too.
Well, WrestleMania...
Survivors, something.
WrestleMania 30, you mean?
Something with The Undertaker. Not the one that was kind of the unclear ending.
Oh, yeah, that was SummerSlam last year.
Yeah. So here we go, 2 times now. We've seen that he's kind of had unsatisfactory main events.
Right.
Alright, now we get that. We get that portion.
Okay.
That's one part of this. The second part is he's a temporary attraction.
Meaning...
To be kind.
He doesn't like to wrestle all that often.
Yes. Can you have someone be a main event headliner when they're wrestling 2 or 3 times a year? Well, I would argue no.
Well, here's...
Hold on. So, third part. He has 2 wrestling moves. He's a powerful guy. We get that. He's got 2 wrestling moves. He does it over and over again. Fourth part. He's unintentionally or intentionally harmed many wrestlers. I've watched the Randy Orton thing over and over again. He elbowed him because he got sensitive because Randy Orton called him out on his steroid use. Let's be honest about that. 5, he's divided the locker room. He's because the locker room wasn't sure if that was a work or not. They're split on either hating this guy or not knowing what to think. The 6th part, he got in a fight with Chris Jericho. Which he infamously... No, James, this happened. Don't live in denial. You can read that, like, it's not going to come from Vince's mouth. But he told Chris Jericho, asked him if it was a work or not. He hit him. And then he got him in a headlock and he said, "You're either going to punch me or you're going to kiss me." Which is one of the great lines ever.
What?
But this is just all added up for me. He's not the most gifted wrestler. He's there 1 or 2, 3 times a year. The locker room hates him. He's causing intentional harm to other wrestlers and getting away with it. It's time. It's time. Buy him out. You have the money to buy him out. Move on. Why don't you star some of these young guys or these other guys who are there constantly who don't loathe. Brock Lesnar does not like being a wrestler. He despises it. Let's face it. He's a failed football player. He's bitter about that. He wants to be the UFC golden boy. He's petty. Someone made a comment about something he did to himself with the steroid use, so he cuts them open, their head. He cuts their head open intentionally. So I think, and this is just my case, my opinion, I don't see the point of having him around anymore. I think he's a bad main event attraction, too.
Well...
He's like a not likable Goldberg.
Well, let me give it to you from the fan standpoint here.
I am a fan.
Well, here's the thing. In some ways, I agree with you. I do think that in a lot of ways, Brock Lesnar has stepped over a line in the way that he's unintentionally hurt a lot of people. Because not only did he force Randy Orton to have to get 10 staples put into his head as a result of the match this past Sunday, but in 2012, he broke Triple H's arm with the Kimura lock not once, but twice. So, this guy is a dangerous human being without question.
And what's the point of
but
having him around for twice a year?
Here's the other thing you need to consider. You say that he doesn't like being a wrestler.
I don't think he does.
And he wants to be the UFC golden boy. But in your opinion, Blair, if that were really the case, why would he have come back to WWE in 2012 to begin with?
Answer your own question. Because you know the answer to that.
Actually, I don't.
Yeah, you do know the answer to that. Don't play ignorant.
Oh.
It's money.
So you want me to pull a Vince McMahon and say, it's all about the money?
Yes. I mean, the guy at the time, he couldn't get back in the UFC and be successful. So why not take the $3 million a year to wrestle 2 events in the WWE? I mean, and it's like, he doesn't want to be there. He's disrespectful. He elbows people in the head because they call him a roid head. He's just terrible. I mean, like, I don't get excited when I hear Brock Lesnar's in the main event. Woohoo! I get to see him pick people up 15 times and growl like he's a caveman.
I mean, his match with John Cena a couple of years ago was a mismatch because John Cena only had 1:16 seconds of offense in that match.
Right, and I mean, obviously, there's some sort of exercise of creative control to make it from Brock Lesnar that makes it that way. Because, like, there's no way the WWE could think, we're going to have him maul our most popular superstar, and that's a good idea. Like, to have a non-competitive match.
Right.
I get, like, they're trying to build this aura of invincibility around him, and that's fine if he was wrestling the 300-day schedule that most of these guys do. But he's not.
And to his credit, when he first started in 2002, he was wrestling 300 days a year. But he left after WrestleMania 20 and stayed away for 8 years.
And I don't blame him for that. Like, to me, if you can get paid $3 million a year and put your body at less harm and do 2 events instead of 300 days, that's fine. But, like, I would do that if I were him too. But at the same time, I just don't get why the WWE keeps throwing him in the face to be a main event attraction when I think the fans are tired of it. Like, they don't care.
Well, you know, it's kind of hard to tell. I know our fans out there might have their own opinions as to why that may or may not be the case. But I 100% agree. Brock Lesnar, even though he is a good athlete, he's not a good asset for the company.
Right. Like
he's more of a liability as far as I'm concerned.
I would agree.
So I say Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman, nice knowing you, but don't let the doorknob hit you where Mother Nature split you, if you know what I mean.
Well, you can keep Paul Heyman around. I'm sure find another use for him. But my thing is, like, they have to make a stand on this. Because to me, it looks like this thing with Randy Orton. I know the match was supposed to end in a TKO, but I doubt it was supposed to end with a real elbow where he's getting all these stitches and everything.
Right, and I, for one, did not expect to see Randy Orton on SmackDown Live this past week because of that, but he was able to be there under his own power.
Yeah, I mean, he just got stitches. But the same thing is like, so you let him do that, you let him split the locker room up, and now he's just going to leave and come back in January, probably, for the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
To me, that's like not what you do. Like if you're the WWE, make a stand.
Yeah, that's not commitment without a doubt.
Well, if you don't make a stand for Randy Orton, who's been with you forever, getting injured, then make a stand for Chris Jericho, who's kind of like the ambassador on behalf of everyone now since he's the older guy.
Exactly.
Also, Jericho's got some big balls to just go up to him and want to fight him.
Well, Jericho does say he's the best in the world at what he does. Oh yeah? Prove it.
I just like that he said, hit me or kiss me, though. That was the one redeemable quality about Brock Lesnar.
Again, I don't know if I believe that part, but anyway.
It's been reported everywhere, James. Can't miss it. But I'm going to start saying that to people. I think that's a good one.
Don't do it. I promise you it's a bad pickup line. And
I didn't mean for it to be a pickup line.
and I'm sure, or a bad confrontational line either way, and I'm sure our fans would agree.
Well, if I did that, how many times would I get kissed and how many times would I get hit?
I'm
It
sure.
had to be 9 out of 10 times you get hit, right?
Yeah, I'm sure 9 out of 10 you probably could hit.
Well, we'll try it. We'll try it tonight at the bonfire. We'll see how it goes.
Oh no! Oh
What
no!
are you going to do? Hit me or kiss me?
Oh no! Anyway, we're gonna take a little time out and break down the rest of the SummerSlam card and give you some of the fallout right after this. So stay right there.
Hit me or kiss me. That's definitely what this one's going to be titled.